Welcome back, friend. It's so good to have you here. Wherever you are, on your way to work, sitting quietly with a cup of tea, walking through the noise of a busy day, I want you to take a breath, settle into this moment, and know something. You are not alone in this journey, and no matter how small or silly something might feel, if it stays on your heart, it matters. So today, I want to start with a small story. One of those everyday things that doesn't seem like much at first, but somewhere in the middle of it, I found something deeper. And maybe, just maybe, you will too. I was cleaning around the house, nothing special, just the usual routine. But I have this method I use to make things easier. I take a giant trash bag, the biggest one I can find, and walk from room to room, tossing everything in. Papers, wrappers, boxes, tissues, everything in one bag, one trip, done. Simple, efficient, and for me, kind of peaceful. It's not just about cleaning. It's about resetting, making space, giving the house a moment to breathe. And then I saw it, a coffee cup, still half full, cold, forgotten. It had been sitting there for a few days. You know how it goes. You see it, but you walk past it. I'll get it later. Just not right now. We all do it. But now I had the trash bag in hand. It was time. This was the moment. So I picked up the cup carefully. I held it steady, like it was fragile glass. I lined it up over the center of the bag, and I went to drop it in. But I missed, just slightly. The bottom of the cup clipped the edge of the bag, and the coffee, that cold, dark, stale coffee, splashed everywhere. The floor, the leg of the table, the cabinet, the corner of the rug, sticky, messy, completely unexpected. And for a second, I just stood there, frozen, looking at the mess, wondering how something so small had just made everything so much harder. And right there, as I bent down to wipe up the spill, it hit me. It was just a cup of coffee, until it wasn't. That's the heart of today's episode. Because how often does this happen to us? We delay something small. We tell ourselves it's not urgent. We walk past it, step over it, pretend it can wait, and then it spills. And it doesn't just stay in its corner, it spreads. Suddenly, what was small is everywhere. So let me ask you something. What's your version of the coffee cup? What's sitting in the corner of your life right now, quietly asking for attention while you keep saying, later? Is it a task? A conversation you've been avoiding? An apology you know you need to give? A health checkup you keep pushing off? A hard decision you're hoping will just disappear? Or maybe it's not a thing. It's a feeling, a frustration, a wound, a resentment. Something that started small, but you've carried it too long. The truth is, most of the chaos in our lives doesn't come from what surprises us. It comes from what we ignored, from what we didn't want to deal with, from what felt like too much work for today, from what we were hoping would magically disappear on its own. But here's the problem. Ignored things don't stay quiet. They grow. They spread. They spill. There's an old proverb I love. A stitch in time saves 9. Meaning, fix the small tear now, and you'll avoid a bigger mess later. Because when you handle it early, you're not just solving a problem, you're protecting your peace. After that coffee spill, I spent a good 30 minutes cleaning, moved the rug, scrubbed the baseboard, swapped out the trash bag, mopped the floor, sprayed the cabinet. And the whole time, I kept thinking to myself, if I had just tossed this cup out 2 days ago, this would have taken 10 seconds. And that's when I realized, that cup is a metaphor, a mirror, a warning sign. How many things in life have turned into stress, not because they were big, but because we left them alone too long? Let's walk through some real-life examples. At work, there's an email you've been meaning to respond to. It's not urgent, so you wait. Now, the deadline passed. The client's upset, and what could have been a quick reply is now a phone call, an apology, a reworked plan. It was just an email until it wasn't. In a relationship, there's something bothering you. Something your partner said. You didn't speak up. You let it sit. Now, it's showing up in your tone, your distance. One small resentment becomes a wall you both have to climb. It was just a feeling, until it became a fight. With your health, you felt a little off. You told yourself, it's probably nothing. You skipped the appointment, you delayed the test, and now it's a condition, it's a diagnosis. It's something that could have been managed if you had acted sooner. It was just a symptom, until it became a situation. With your mental health, you've been tired, short-tempered, less patient, less motivated. You tell yourself you're just busy. You keep going. And now you're burned out. Now you don't feel like yourself anymore. Now you're trying to find your way back from a place you never meant to go. It was just a mood until it became a season. Here's what I've come to believe. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to be present. Present enough to notice the little things. Present enough to respond before they overflow. Present enough to stay ahead of the spill. This isn't about hustling harder. It's about showing up softer, more aware, more honest, more willing to act when it still feels manageable. I want to encourage you with this. If there's something you've been putting off, don't wait until it becomes a mess. Don't wait until it leaks into every corner of your life. Don't wait until it takes 10 times more effort than it should have. Because most of the time, it's not the thing that breaks us. It's the delay. Now, this doesn't mean you have to jump into action for every small task. You don't need to chase perfection. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to ask yourself, what small thing, if I handled it now, would bring me peace later? That's your starting point. Let me share something a mentor once told me. Peace doesn't come from having less to do. It comes from having less left undone. I've never forgotten that. Because sometimes just wiping the table, making the call, or saying I was wrong can shift everything. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are not falling behind. You are simply at a moment of choice. And your choice today to deal with something while it's still small is a powerful, responsible, and loving move for your future self. So as we wrap this up, I want you to look around your life. What's your coffee cup? What's sitting there quietly, waiting for you to deal with it? It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be life-altering. It just has to be addressed before it becomes a spill. Maybe it's a drawer that needs organizing. Maybe it's an apology that's been lingering. Maybe it's a financial habit you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a conversation that could change the direction of a relationship. Whatever it is, you've got this. One step, one choice, one small act of intention, and then another, until the clutter clears, until the tension softens. Until you find yourself standing in a life that feels lighter, not because everything is perfect, but because you've made peace with the small things before they had the chance to take over. Thank you for spending this time with me. You've just taken one step by listening. Let's take the next step together, by acting. And remember, you don't have to do it all. You just have to do the next right thing. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not alone. I'm with you.